tell me where they are. So I came over here from Jerusalem to look for my brothers and sisters. And the good news are that I found them. I'm here with you. So it's touching me. I started only 6 months ago, and I created a Facebook group, and my meaning was to do something Jewishly for Israelis, to revive our language and culture. But immediately, I found that there are many Assyrians that are interested in what I'm doing. You know, in our tradition, in the Jewish tradition, when we finish the meal, we have to bless God. But you know what? Before we are blessing God, we have to bless the owner of the meal. So we have this evening many owners of the meal. I would like to mention some of them. It is my duty. So the first one is this lady that taking a video of me, Nana Madur. She found me at the Facebook, and she connected me to Adnan Shamon, and later to Amir, and I'm here.
Welcome.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. I have no word to express my feeling of thanks to you.
Thank
And
you.
the other couple, another video, a camera woman, is Rana Abu and Chris, where are you? So thank you, indeed. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then we can go to the presentation. It could be long, so if you get tired, just do this, and you will understand. Okay. So my parents came from Assyria. As a matter of fact, I'm a Syrian Jew, and my mother came from Zaho. My dad came from Dohok, and they get married in Baghdad. They lived in Baghdad, and in the year of 51 they came not to Israel, to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a big symbol in our tradition, you know. And I must tell you that how important is Jerusalem in our mind, and we can compare it a little bit to Nineveh. We have to mention what? I lost the. Everybody on? We have to mention Jerusalem at least 3 times. There are special days and holidays it doesn't work. Maybe it's better that we mention Jerusalem 5 times. Okay? When a couple get married, at the end of the ceremony, they have to break a glass. Have you been to a Jewish wedding?
No, I've seen it.
No? You said anything? Yes. Why do we have to break a glass? To remember Jerusalem, because Jerusalem was destroyed at least twice. Okay? don't want to tell you, but the first time was by the Assyrian. But I'm not upset with you, believe me. Yes. The second time was by the Roman. We are remembering every day Jerusalem in every occasion, sad occasion or a happy occasion. So this symbol of Zion, we are Zionists. I know it is a curse. In the Middle East, to be a Zionist, it's not good, a privilege. But we are Zionists. But this symbol of Jerusalem kept our people 2,000 years. And this symbol energized us to rebuild our state in 40. Okay? So I'm sure, we have a very similar story, the Assyrian people and the Jewish people. And I'm sure that we are able to learn from each other. And we can support each other, and we can collaborate, and we can change the world together. We need each other. In comparing to other nations, we have the Israel nation, okay? We have a common interest with many other nations. But not always we have the common values, the common history, and the common identity. Okay? So I came over here to celebrate our common tradition, our, let's say, Mesourit. התלנחה הקרא, התלנחה תשעיתה, התלנחה דמה. So my project has two main goals. The first is to revive our language, Lishana Deni. هذا خخلا لشان دني قومت تذايا. And the second is to support the Assyrian people until the day you will have an independent state. I know it sounds a fantasy. Yes. And you know what? Some of my close friends here know my idea to open in this year, in the year of 2020, not this year, the next year, the Assyrian embassy in Jerusalem. And I will do it. Read my lips. Anna is recording the. Yes, you're gonna see it. So I would like to share with you some of my ideas. Let's start a little bit by our common background, okay? And our common background is nothing. So let's start by the prophet Isaiah. Since you know this prophecy, I don't have to repeat, but that's what I'm trying to sell to the Israeli public. That we have an ancient common background, and since it is a prophecy, we have a common future. Okay? And you know what? I'm going to tell you another thing. It is like a surprise. You know, and I have met here many Assyrians telling me that I never knew that there are Assyrian Jews. It's a revelation, okay? I must tell you that there are, most of the Israeli public don't know that there are Assyrians. To me, for us, Assyria is something belong to the past. It is an ancient empire and it gets lost. So once I started to sell the idea of Assyria and the partnership, many people were surprised. Okay? I'm lucky because I have easy access to the Israeli media. So I'm appearing in TV shows, in radio shows, and I'm writing for papers. And people are asking me, what is it about? Where do they come from? Our main problem in Israel, the Assyrian Jews, that they are thinking themselves as Kurds. It is a historical mistake, and I'm trying to change it. I'm always saying to my good friends, the Kurds has different nationality, different religion, different language, different blood, if you like. I don't want to get into scientific, aspects, because in our tradition it is very problematic, because the Nazis persecuted us because so-called scientific, parameters.
Yes.
So let's go through the common values. That's better. The common ideology, the common faith. Okay. So a big project to convince the Israeli public that the Assyrian Jews are not Kurds. It is hard. Believe me, it is hard. But I have my tactic, I hope, Those are my main goals, the goals I told you before. And I'm here to recruit you to this project at the last, sentence. Establishing of the Assyrian embassy in Jerusalem. Now, I'm not diplomatic, so it could be only a symbol to open a cultural house for both of nations, and to call it in Jerusalem the Assyrian embassy. Ashur and Israel. Let me pass this. Okay. So it's written in Hebrew. I'm sure everybody here can read it. Yeah, it's easily, it's nothing. You can't imagine how the Hebrew close to the Syriac. It's amazing. But what I'm looking for is this. When I'm saying that the Israeli public think that we are good, I have evidence, you can see it here, that in the year of 44, this rabbi was a head of a committee of Assyrian Jews in Palestine, not in Israel, because the establishment of the state of Israel was in 48. Okay? But this is a proof, and I'm gonna use it big time. His name is Chacham Zechariah Moshe Mizrahi. You know what is Mizrahi? Sharqi, Eastern. Madan Chaya.
مشرقي.
احنا مدن خايف واحنا. Yes. So when I have to express my view, I don't use always the word Ashur. I have to use the Hebrew terms, okay? Because in general speaking, the Jewish people is always scared about threatening from outside, from non-Jews. So my strategic is to pick from the Bible evidence to support my approach. Okay? So I don't call our language Surit, I call Aramid in Hebrew term. And then when people asking me where you come from, I said, we come from Aram Naharaim, what you called Bet Naharin. Bet Naharin is Assyria. Am I right? So we solved the problem. And I say that because I faced some criticism from Assyria. I don't need to tell you that we have Chaldean, Syrian, Aramean. So I felt that I'm getting in a big mess, and I could think with this mess before I did something for, in my society. So I have decided this is strategic decision to use only the Hebrew terms and only from our tradition. Okay, eventually it will fit your tradition, but we have to pass a long way to get into there. So remember, Aramid is our language. So this is Chezi Mutzafi, a professor. He's an expert, the one and the only in the Jewish people all over the world. He's an expert for the culture of Assyria. And he speaks very well. So here I'm asking him, how can we define ourselves? He will speak in Surit, you can understand better than me. By the way, he speaks your La'azeh, أنا مزمن باللعزة زخوناي.
Auch in Dwyer, auch Anna Iwen, beim Auen Preitanai, beim Isnail. Thai, Shakyalud, and Taudithe, Hindu, in Buddha, in Sikh, in Kutchamin Tithawe, in Udai. In our Anna Iwen in Isnail. Itle, in Jinsin Isnail. Non, Peshing, Isnail, in a Tauditha, not Tauditha Fleta. In the Lemon, I could hide Isnail, Garagawa Christiana. In כותך אפורה כרגע לקרסים. התחלנה, يعني התחלנה בתשעה מינה, כותך אלבט, לזה תחלך שוב.
מסך אמרך יהודאי אסוראי, אולי יהודאי ארמאי, אולי יהודאי... בס יהודאי...
שם אף טוב גרג, שביתו, כרחוב. أخني مودي يعني أمنتي أنا لمسن أنا مثلا من أخ ملشنا يعني linguist من جابت ملشنانوث يعني linguistics لشنافو يعني اقرأ له وأنا بخشاور يعني نويل الرابع DNA test يعني genetics أنا بخشاور خزيتو או ג'נטיקס תיאחו, מחר הודעיה, עם חסיינה, כמה בואחלה, אפשר לנהל בלתי שירצו 5 מילים מחר. יעני, אומפה לה, אין אחתו, ביתו, קרטו, ג'נטו, חסונה, שם חשים עליו, אז מה אנחנו נשלמו לה. אין אחני לפלן חמי נדל כולך אומפה חלטה, לפלן שומי נדלה דרכו לאחורי, אולי אני דברי נשתידן אני את איראן, וזה את איראן, את פרל אחר, ויעני דחברי ופולדאי, לצוות שו פולדאי תמה, אני דוקה לחולמי, אחר מזת ימה, לצוות פולדאי, איסו פולדאי, תחבורמי, הנה גולמי מקה איסו פולדאי. הנה, גדוורן אחר, אמרים אחרי יהודה, אוקיי, יהודה את מודי, הל עד חמישי, פרקטית חמישי שרפת אשתי, שורה לאושם את נש דיגן, יעני our people, נש דיגן, יעני נש דיגן, שורה לאושם מה, תד אמרי אחני מודי לך, אני אמרי אחני מלך, לא אחורי, אולם ארמי, אולי כל דעתי, אחני נש דיגן. وأنت very smart يعني خمنتي سببا يعني politically very smart تدامني أخني ماضي وإخ أخني ناشديان وكنت خاين بين قليلا نصورين بين قليلا كنت خمنتي تهاوين إن أخني ناشديان إن وذاي أنا يعني شان وذاي أصلا ما صرت قليلا كنت خمنتي إتوا أبكو
ما كان بقريلا من إيكا تيلوكو
أخني فانا من أو تروصلي أو توس خمدي رام توس إليه يعني أوراي يعني شان أوراي مليخ أرام نهرين أوكي إن بلشانة يعني سوريا ببف نهرين يعني بين بل نار وترن نار وافا أخني أخ إلجمنت أخني أخ مودي تو بيتو